This is the bonus section podcast episode number 56, How to Relax Your Mindset. Are you the type of person that knows you were meant for something greater in this lifetime and that somewhere inside of you there's just this bigger version of yourself trying to break through? But in spite of all your self-development, you just can't seem to find the way up? Well then, hey, you are definitely in the right place. I'm Danny Griffin, the founder of the bonus section and the host of this podcast, and a person just like you trying to learn how to live the most fulfilling life possible. Now, to help you take immediate action to get moving in a better direction, we take all the notes from each episode and we post them at freethinkingtools.com. That's freethinkingtools.com. All right, let's get started. How to relax your mindset. And I will give full credit to one of my, book mentors, meaning that he wrote a book that really changed the way that I see a lot of things. And that's Maxwell Maltz and Psycho-Cybernetics. So I'm going to give him full credit for this short list. I was really listening to this and thinking through, this was worth a share. So basically, this is a share from his body of work, or at least a summary. And the first point he makes is to forgive others. And I have to tell you, if you really think about this for a second, man, do we all struggle with this? Why is this so difficult? Why is it difficult that when we feel wronged by others, and by the way, that's just our perception a lot of the times. I mean, I'm not talking about physical harm. That's the obvious harm. And that is really a pretty high calling to be able to forgive there. And you'll need some counseling and you'll need some spiritual energy work, etc., whatever works with you. And it's probably a long process if you've been harmed like that. And I highly recommend the help and the guidance of true pros. There's some awesome people out there that can truly help you get through all sorts of physical abuse and to try to forgive. But it is difficult, right? It's difficult. Even when just somebody says something about us that hurts us. You know, there's an insecurity that we have that we wear on our face or our body or our persona, whatever it might be. And somebody takes a poke at that and just to make themselves feel better. And it hurts. And it's really tough to forget that they did that to us. And it's more importantly difficult to forgive them, to really let it go. In fact, I was listening to something, and you could Google this name. It wouldn't mean a lot to you if you're really young, but Norman Lear was on TV at the ripe old age of 99. And this guy is a wildly successful TV person who was really part of the world of sitcom, situation comedy, and was involved in some amazing shows. You can Google them yourself and take a look. But I want to make the point during the interview. I just happened to stumble upon it too, but it was amazing because I had already written this podcast. And he was talking about really letting go. And his term was, as it relates to forgiving others or situations, was, it's done, right? It's done. It's done. It's gone, right? It's gone. That piece of your life and time is done. It's gone. It's over. Whatever happened in that moment in time is part of history. And so as the interview was going on, the question really was about, well, at 99 years old, what's your success formula, basically? And that was it. That was the first thing, was it's done. And that leads to the second point, though, too. It's forgiving yourself. So this is two sides of an ugly coin. When something goes wrong in life that we can't forgive others, well, we can't forgive ourselves for the mistakes that we make. So you have this all bundled up in this Norman Lear piece of information that he takes it and he looks at all of it and he says it's done. I mean, there's nothing we can do about our mistakes. There's nothing we can do about the mistakes that others made against us in a past context. It is done. It is over. It is finished. There is nothing that you can do. So why aren't we using forgiveness as the snip tool, right? To snip it, to let it go. I'm not saying don't remember it to the extent that you need to learn from it. You don't want to be naive. You don't want to put yourself in a vulnerable position that you don't need to. Sure, history certainly teaches us a lot. But it's how we're hanging on to it and its meaning to us and the weight that it puts on our persona, our self-image, all the things we're trying to become now become burden because we don't have the tool of forgiveness of others and ourselves. It's a massive burden. And so I want to explain a little further what he said because it was really fascinating how he was talking about what's next too. But in between it's done and what's next, he had this just a fabulous image of a hammock that he's swinging so lightly and enjoying what's in front of him right now. So that next piece of it. So as the days would go by, and he said what's next, in his case, at 99 years old, he was looking forward to having this interview. It was an interview on TV, and he was looking forward to it. That was what's next. But between when he found out he was going to do it, and then he was living in the now, in this proverbial imaginary hammock that he was just swimming along nicely in and enjoying himself. See, this is why I love the mindset stuff so much, because it's so powerful. Here's somebody who has had an unbelievably successful career, is alive and well at 99 years old, able to carry on this interview where people, say 20 years younger than him are struggling. So you often wonder how much of it is because, I know you'll explain it away with genes or whatever you'll do, but how much of it is because he can forgive others. He can forgive himself. He can say it's done, and he can live in the hammock and swing easily in the moment. Doesn't mean that somebody doesn't interrupt the hammock ride because what's next might be a painful episode. It might be a problematic thing. But again, it's always done. It's always done. And there's always the hammock and the now. How can you make the best use of the now? So forgiveness becomes a common theme in forgiving others and forgiving yourself in being able to say it's done. And I think that can help a lot. But the next point here is to see yourself. I'm going to stop at those words before I finish what I wrote here from my notes. To see yourself, right? To see yourself. You have to become an imaginary, well, what did they call them at Disney? An Imagineer. And Lear, when you hear him talk, you can hear the creative brain so alive and well. It doesn't mean for any other purpose. I'm not asking you to become the next great artist or be artsy. I'm asking you to simply use your mindset to see yourself at your best as a person of high self-confidence and self-belief. So whatever the context may be, you can play around with that in the theater of your own mind because nobody can stop you. So when you see yourself at your best, practicing this, forget about, again, it's predicated in the first two pieces of advice. It's done. Whatever happened before us, it's done. Stop saying things like, well, I can't do that. I'm not that type of person. Historically, I've never been that. Socioeconomically, I've never had that opportunity. It's all BS. Stop. Because it has no effect on the ability to be your own Imagineer, to write yourself into the theater of your mind, seeing yourself at your best. Your imaginary best, even if you've never experienced this. I want to see myself at my best as a person of high self-confidence. So what is it? Are you a performer? Can you step out onto the stage and see yourself with self-confidence at the audition? Can you see yourself with high self-confidence walking through the schoolroom door, sitting down, taking the test, and everything is flowing beautifully? And you believe in what you studied, you believe in what you remembered, and you recall it. Can you see yourself doing whatever? You take that seeing yourself at your best as a person of self-confidence and self-belief in any scenario, anything that you want. And you start with what is most important to you. What is the scenario in your life that you really have always wanted? Can you see yourself, at least in your imagination, having the self-confidence and the self-belief to fulfill that thing? Now, the last point here is also a toughie. And that's to keep up with only you and yourself and your own goals, not somebody else and their goals. We are such comparative beings. It's amazing how often I even catch myself looking at somebody else's business, somebody else's family, somebody else's fitness, right? Whatever it might be. I get that we want to do that naturally as humans. That's how we make decisions comparatively to survive. Should I cross the street on this side or over here? Should I take the left here or there? And those are all instinctually survival mechanisms to protect ourselves. So I get that comparative decision making is really animalistic and important. But what I'm saying is, as humans, we have this discretion. So it goes beyond survival and it goes into this weird spot where we're so busy trying to keep up with the Joneses or everybody else. No matter what we have. I mean, again, you all might think that people that have incredible wealth, they have it all. That is such BS too. There are so many miserable people with enormous business success, wealth success, that couldn't even hold a relationship together. They couldn't even have a family relationship, an outside relationship, whatever it might be. And they're envious when they look at somebody with hardly anything, right? Sitting on the porch all together, broke, but having a laugh together. So sure, everybody has something that we're all envious of in a comparative way. But why are we trying to keep up with that? See, going back to the theater of the mind where you see yourself as a person of high self-confidence and belief, getting what you want, then all you have to do is say, what do I want? And am I keeping up with what I want? What do I want out of my life? What does fulfillment in life mean to me? And all I need to do is keep up with me. It's a one-person race. So if I want to go from where I am today to get out there to something that I want, the only thing I'm comparing against is my progress to do so. That's my goal out there that I set, that I keep imagining me getting to. I'm finding the resources along the way, making the adjustments, but I keep moving there. How am I doing? Not, it turns out Sally wants the same thing and she's killing me. She's on her way there and she seems so happy. What's wrong with me? Why do we do that? It's so unbelievably self-defeating and it triggers an automatic failure mechanism. So keeping up with others rather than ourselves and our own goals is triggering automatic failure, systemic failure, right? You don't even know the circumstances under which those people live. You don't know their weaknesses. So many people are so great at hiding from all of us where they're off, what's off with them. So you're trying to make a judgment about something against what you're doing, and you don't even have all the evidence. I actually see this in business all the time as I coach a lot of top producers. One of the famous lines that I'll get from somebody is, I was watching this guy and he's killing it. What? What are you talking about? Well, he was the top producer. Okay, what does that have to do with success as defined by profitability? What does that have to do with success as, is he in a family, in a relationship balance, right? A work-family balance? Is he happy? Is she happy? How do you know that? So why are you going over here? Because what you're doing is neglecting you. You're not measuring how you're doing because that takes enough energy. To get what we want is not always easy. It's not always easy to get the thing. We might have a very lofty goal. It might take us to become something that we've never been before, right? So ultimately, that's the problem here, folks. You're trying to keep up with the Joneses and not you and your goals. Let me go back and summarize this. Real important stuff. The point of bringing this up to you is it's how to relax your mindset. Because I want you to imagine relaxing, right? I want you to imagine relaxing as you go through these things, right? If I forgive others, what anxiety and burdens do I lift off of my shoulders and my heart to relax? If I forgive myself and I let it go, like Norman Lear, I say it's done. Imagine the relaxation and the peace of mind that brings to me. If I see myself at my best and a person of high self-confidence and self-belief, no matter whether I win or lose, I'm there. I can handle any situation. I relax. And then if I'm keeping up with my own goals, I no longer have to look at everybody else and worry what they're doing. I am relieved. See the point? These things relax you. Let me summarize it this way. We live in such a heightened state of anxiety and frustration, and perhaps we never consider that there might be some simple things we can do to bring ourselves to a more relaxed and happy state. What's wrong with relaxed and happy? Perhaps if we would simply practice forgiving others and ourselves, stop trying to keep up with others, and finally see ourselves at our best, we would find peace of mind and relaxation. All right, remember, you can take immediate action to get moving in a better direction because we take all the notes from each episode and we post them at freethinkingtools.com. Also, don't forget to subscribe to this podcast on iTunes, Spotify, or wherever you listen. Or you can find us on any of our social media channels for the bonus section so you don't miss out on any episodes. We'd also appreciate it if you would join our mission of becoming people for others and share our content with other people just like you so that they get some of the help that they need. But remember this, I sign off the same way every time. Nobody is coming for you. Nobody. So go get to work on a better plan for your life, and we will see you in the next episode to help you do just that. Thanks.